Has the United States just blinked in the face of growing Chinese assertiveness, or is this a masterclass in diplomatic strategy? In the often turbulent world of U.S. politics and international relations, figures like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth carry immense weight. His words can shape alliances, deter adversaries, and impact global stability. And recently, Hegseth found himself walking a particularly precarious tightrope, especially concerning the rising power of China. For weeks, the narrative surrounding China has been one of robust challenge, with President Trump himself engaging in high-stakes diplomacy on the global stage, including a significant bilateral summit in Beijing. But then, something shifted. During his remarks at the prestigious International Institute for Strategic Studies Shangri-La Dialogue Conference in Singapore, Hegseth's tone on China appeared to soften, a departure from the more confrontational posture we've come to expect. He championed joint efforts, not just between the US and China, but crucially, he urged America's Asian allies to share the burden in confronting perceived threats. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow. This subtle, yet significant, adjustment in rhetoric comes at a critical juncture. The Shangri-La Dialogue is a premier security forum, drawing defense ministers, military chiefs, and diplomats from across the Asia-Pacific region. It's a stage where nations openly discuss their security concerns and forge partnerships. Hegseth's presence and pronouncements there are, therefore, keenly observed. For weeks leading up to this, the administration's approach to China has been characterized by a blend of strategic competition and direct engagement. President Trump's summit in Beijing was a prime example of this duality, seeking dialogue while simultaneously signaling resolve. Now, Hegseth's pivot, or at least his recalibration of messaging, suggests a nuanced strategy at play. He wasn't just addressing China, he was speaking to a room full of nations deeply impacted by Beijing's growing influence. His emphasis on joint efforts with China is a significant point. It moves away from a purely zero-sum, us versus them framing, and hints at a desire for managed competition, where areas of mutual interest can still be pursued, even amidst strategic rivalry. This is a delicate dance. On one hand, the U.S. has consistently raised concerns about China's territorial claims in the South China Sea, its economic practices, and its military modernization. On the other hand, complete decoupling or perpetual confrontation could destabilize a region vital to global trade and security. However, the most compelling part of Hegseth's address, and arguably the most controversial, was his direct appeal to Asian allies to share the burden against threats. This is not a new concept in international relations, but its delivery by a top U.S. defense official, in the current geopolitical climate, carries substantial weight. It implies that the U.S. is not willing to shoulder the entire responsibility of countering China's expansionism alone. Instead, it's a call for a more collective security approach. For nations in the region, countries like Japan, South Korea, Australia, and even those in Southeast Asia, this is a direct challenge. They are on the front lines of China's assertiveness. They face complex decisions about their economic ties with Beijing versus their security dependence on the United States. What does this mean for them? It means increased pressure to commit more resources, more political capital, and potentially more risk to their own relationships with China. It means they need to clarify their own strategic alignment. Are they willing to step up and actively participate in a US-led coalition, or will they seek a middle ground, attempting to appease both powers? The potential outcomes are far-reaching. A more engaged and cooperative set of Asian allies could indeed create a more robust regional security architecture, effectively balancing China's power. Conversely, if allies are hesitant or unable to bear a greater burden, this could be perceived as a weakening of U.S. resolve, potentially emboldening China further. It could also lead to a more fragmented regional response, with some nations aligning more closely with the U.S. and others seeking a more independent or China-leaning path. This is not just about military hardware or defense budgets, it's about political will, economic resilience, and strategic foresight. Hegseth's tightrope walk signifies a critical moment in how the U.S. intends to manage its relationship with China and its network of alliances in the Indo-Pacific. It's a gamble that requires careful calculation and a deep understanding of the anxieties and aspirations of America's partners in the region. So, what do you think about this delicate balancing act by the Pentagon? Is Hegseth pushing for a more sustainable global security strategy, or is he signaling a reduction in U.S. commitment at a time when clarity is most needed? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one. The future of regional security in the Indo-Pacific is being shaped right now. Stay informed, stay engaged.